distortion of our history by the Benin is deliberate. They are doing it intentionally. You understand? They are trying, and let me say, they are doing it. One of the purpose, the reason why they are doing that is for territorial expansion. You understand? We are able to capture the origin of the people, distort people's history, their origin. Of course, you will be able to something like capture the territory of such people. For instance, like what you said, Mr. Okosun, the Edo language. We don't speak Edo language. You speak the language of your ancestors. Edo is an individual that lived in 14th century. He was a slave of Ogiefa. He lived during Oba-Ewari period in 14th century. And the Esan historically, archaeologically proven, has been in existence since 3,000 years ago. We have already settled in Esan land, especially the northern side of Esan. So for them saying that we speak Edoa language, the person that did that in 1973, he was a Benin man who grouped our language as Edoa. His name is Ogierahi. He is the one that named our language Edoa. So of course they control him in the Oba Palace to do all those things. So our language, if you want to know the origin of a people, you will look into their origin of their language. Where do our people stem from? Where do our language stem from? The Esan language is grouped among the Niger Congo language family, or the Kwa language family. Of course, for people that are educated, that are well read, you know that all Kwa language disseminate from Niger Benue Conference area. The Niger Benue Conference area is the central Nigeria, which is today Kogi State. Yeah, between Ukbila, Ukene, and Lokoja. Yeah. So, contrary to what you are hearing, Benin talking about descendants, the Esan people descend from Benin, the Urobo people descend from Benin. So a lot of ethnic nationalities in the southern Nigeria, all of them, they migrated from Benin. It is false. The primary migration of the Esan people, we migrated from Niger Benue Conference area. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which our people call Uhe. You understand? So our people call it Uhe. So in some of the people that recorded our history, like Brankberry, one of the European doctors that recorded our history, some of the villages, some of the clans in Esan, in his book, they were saying they came from Ukbamen, which is Uhe, which is the Niger, the Great River. They were calling it the Great River. As at then, they don't call it River Niger. Of course, there was no Nigeria then. So they were calling that place Ukbamen as in the Great River, which is the River Niger. We picked our people. Yeah, we came from Uhe around that 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. It is not only Esan's people that participated in this migration history. So I'm going to list the people that participated in this migration history. The Esan people were involved. And the Epie Etisa. The Epie Etisa, they are presently in Yenegua, which is Bayelsa State. And the Engen people, they are probably in Port Harcourt, the Degema, the Okpameri, they are in Akoko Edo presently, which is the northern part of Edo State. The Shomolika, they are still in Edo State, which is the northern part of Edo State, Akoko Edo. Of course, the Uneme people, the northern Uneme people. The Uneme people, they are specifically our clan, the people that are specializing in making iron. Elui, Ebe, or anything iron. It was the Uneme people that were doing it. Yeah, the Uneme people stock today they've metamorphosed into different ethnic group, into different names. When they migrated from the northern part of, which is the Uhe, which is Kogi today, they settled in Idumuigun. Of course, you know, it was the Idumuigun some people in Ugboha stem from. So the Ugboha people, they are from the Uneme stock. The Anegbete people, the Agbede people, all of them, they are still, just that they metamorphose as history goes on, they metamorphose into different names. So these are some of the people that migrated from that particular environment around 6 to 10,000 years ago. The Esan people, the old Doane, they are presently in Kogi State. The Emir Oluleha, which is in Owan. So one of the reasons why they left Uhe could be, of course, because of the volume of the river Niger increased, because there was a flood. So they displaced the people that were in those surroundings. The environment became uninhabitable. So all of them, they started migrating towards the south. So it is contrary to the lies they are telling you that people migrated from the south to the north, or from the south to the west, or to the east. It is not true. There was never a time the primary historic migration of our people or any ethnic group in southern Nigeria happened like that. It is from the north we all migrated to the south. So there some people, when the Uhe, which is Kogi State today, became uninhabitable, they first of all migrated to Akoko Edo, to the hills of the Akoko Edo. It was from the hill of Akoko Edo, the Esan people, they started migrating to the Esan land. So the first people that migrated to the Esan land, which are the ethnic group, they are still there today. The Doa, of course, I'm mentioning the kingdoms that are there right now, they are still there today. The Ukon, the Ukon, they are still there today. The Owon Ona is today called Ekpoma. You understand? The people that came from Benin in 14th century, they met these people in Ekpoma. They were called Owon Ona. So the Eilu people have evolved into Ehu people of today. But we also have the Aho people. Today they are called Irua. So, and we also have the Idumambu. The Idumambu people, they were the first people that settled in Ubaha. Just all over Isan, people were scattered, all the different settlements, they were all scattered in different clans in Isan. But it was not as developed and as evolved the way it is today, but as there was just a little settlement in that period. So these people, they've been in Isan land around that 3,000 years ago, in the mid first century AD. So because of the waterless nature of Isan land, Isan is not like Benin, where you have Ipoba River, have Ofia River, you have so many rivers like that. Isan is a plateau territory. Yeah. So because there was a limited streams in Isan land, so some peoples in Isan in 500 AD, which is the mid first millennium AD, they migrated to Benin. I repeat again.
So the territory that is now called Benin now.
Yeah, exactly. The people they call Benin now, Igodomigodo don't exist then. Yeah, let me be using, because Benin is a recent word. Let me be using the word Igodomigodo. Igodomigodo as at then don't exist. Contrary to what they are telling you, the Esan come back from Benin. It is the Benin who migrated out from Esan.
Wow.
Exactly. In 500 AD. You understand?
Yeah.
So when these people, of course, human beings, they are always looking for more inhabitable place to live. So the limited streams in Esan, they do not have rivers. It's a plateau territory. Plateau means flat land. Amen River, no big river apart from River Niger, in a very far different environment. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So people in Esan now started migrating to the southern forest, looking for a more inhabitable place to live. It is not only the Benin that migrated out of Esan. The Urobo were still among. We all migrated from that River Niger down to Esan. So the Urobo were among the Isoko and all those ethnic nationalities that are in Niger Delta that I mentioned, the Degema, the PA, and the Tisa, and all those stuff, etc. So all of them, they migrated to the south. They founded the first place, of course, they founded Umuode, all those territories that are very close to Esan. Yeah, these are some of the places they first settled. Some of them moved to Ohiovi. Ohiobe mean OH OVBE. So Ohiobe, people that are in Benin, they understand the particular environment I'm talking about. So some of them really exactly, yeah. So the reason why I mentioned this specific place is because in 1984, there's one archaeology that surveyed the earthworks in Benin and Isan. So some of these places, these are the oldest earthworks built in Isan land, or let me say in the whole of part of Edo State, were surveyed in Isan, especially the northern side of Isan, where these people first settled. Yeah, it was dated 500 AD, as in before first century. So the earthwork built in Uhunwode and Ohiowe, and all these ones, they were dated around first century. So with time, when our people, which is the people that were in Igudumegudu that founded Benin, started living in that side, they started moving to the west of Igboba River. So when they moved to the west of the Igboba River, the migration started expanding. They moved to Ute. They founded Ute. They founded Idogbo, Oka, Egbae, Iwu, of course, Idu Iyekoriomo. Of course, they founded Iyekoriomo, and Ubekun, Utekun, and Udo, of course, yeah. This is how Benin was founded. The people that left Esan land, they are the people who went and founded Igudumingudu. Yeah. By this time, listening, the Oba dynasty doesn't exist. The Ojiso dynasty doesn't exist. What we were having then was Idionwele, as in the oldest man in the village. Of course, in different clans, the older person will be ruling. Yeah. It was later on when, of course, our people started evolving. This in the Benin side, they started having Ujiso. Of course, the people in Isan, of course, all those ones, they also have their own king, like the Eilu people, which is called Eilu people, like that. This is how they started having, and our migration started having. They started evolving. But it was later on when Ujiso dynasty collapsed. Of course, if you want me to expand on Ujiso dynasty, maybe we can talk about that in another.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So,
What a tsunami pure history.
Yes, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Ose.
man.
Very
Appreciate
articulated. And then this is dished out from verified archaeological facts, not mere lip services foundation. This, I repeat, is dished out from verified archaeological facts, not made up history. The Ikaladira made up history, so on and so forth. But because of time, as you can see from our side, the time is fast spent. Yeah. And this is the very first time for such awesome broadcast. We are going to continue this weekly, and then we are on the mission of sensitizing our people adequately. Before we go out, let me allow our secretary, Mr. Roland Nana Gabriel, to also buttress on those aspects he feels like he needs to come in from there. Mr. Roland Nana Gabriel, Honorable Council Secretary, the floor is yours, sir.
The viewers, thank you very much for connecting to this program, and my brothers in the house, I greet you all, and I greet Mr. Ose especially. If I would have said, let me give him my time so that he would continue, because because I myself, I'm not going to speak much about any other thing because our brothers have already spoken. I just want to talk to our Isan people.
Thank you.
Me myself, when growing up, I had all this fake history about the Isan people in my head and in my heart. So I followed all those history because that was what they told us. That's what they want us to know. And in my and even some of our fathers who knows the truth, they're afraid to speak the truth. There was a time when I was so much into this thing, but something spoke to me. That was what gave me the assurance that Eli Mason is still strongly behind the Esan people. Something spoke to me and told me that everything you heard about the Esan people are pure lies. from that moment, I was convinced that Elimesa was speaking to me. Then I sat down, I was thinking about it, meditating on it. I got so many understanding that truly, if you watch the way things are in Esan land, you will know that this is just a game of hatred and game of insecurity. Because in real life, those who actually have something, those who are true, they don't fight. Just like the Esan people, we are lovely people. We want to bring everybody together. But those
Absolutely.
who knows that they don't have anything, they feel insecure. So they find every means to make sure they fight against those that have things. And this is what we have experienced for years. Evocation, let's think about this. If we continue to keep quiet about what is going on in our land, I tell you, what you see right now is just the beginning. Forget the fact that this thing started long ago. We can do something. We are Esan. We are Iwo Helimi. When we stand to do something, we can achieve whatever we want to. And that is the fear. That is why you see they want to depopulate Asian land. They want to make sure they remove all the citizens from Esan and bring them to Benin and make sure Esan become nothing. They are taking away everything we have. They celebrate what we have for themselves. But if we continue to keep quiet, it will continue to happen. My mother told me something. Ome emo Esan bi emo Benin amo obo Senobra. And my own reply to myself was that no, that cannot be true.
That's right.
Because God has given us everything, and God wants us to take care of our world ourselves. So if we are still waiting for God to come and conquer those people who are oppressor, then we are wasting our time. So this program is just the beginning. Today is the first day. I won't be speaking much, but I just want to say, let's unite, let's come together. Because what we are seeing now is not right. We deserve better.
This is what I want to say.
Thank you so much.
We are saying Esan Focus Association. Go on Facebook. Go and subscribe. Follow the
getting notification and come on board. We need people who can work with us. So next week, as we continue on the program, I will continue to speak my mind. And I thank you very much. God bless you all. Yes.
One you can share to. I thank you all, viewers out there. Thank you. And then I also want to use this medium as an avenue to let us know that this is Esan Focus Association that is open to all Esanites, Esan Igbe, Esan Renegbe. This association is open to us all. To be member and part and parcel of this Esan Focus, what the qualification you need is your Esanite, is you being an Esan person. I am no more Esan than you, you are no more Esan than me. We all need to come together to put hands collectively on deck in making sure we pilot the affairs that concerns Esan. And then most especially our history. You know, a people who don't care, who neglect their history. We have a lot of negligence when we talk about our history. Even our older people neglect the historical part of Esan. Let me tell you as elderly man, let me tell you as elderly woman, should in case you don't know, the father listening, parents listening to their children. If we don't stand up in making sure we appropriate our history and we are still giving birth, you know what we're doing? We are breeding lost generation. Irrespective of your pedigree, irrespective of your class, irrespective of how rich you are, if our history, the Esan history, is continuously being distorted like the way it is today, we are breeding lost generation, because it is only our people's history that retain their generation upon generation forever and ever. Immediately the history is distorted, these people will be lost. So let us take it our priority, topmost priority in making sure we continue to do justice to our history. And we are also using this medium as an avenue to reach out to our energies that we are not pleased for our king to continue to be subject of another king. All kings are supposed to operate independently. If a king or any king is subject to other king, it means that the descendants of those kings that are subject to other kings, they are second class. Kings that are operating with staff of office, these are not dukes, these are kings. It means that these are kings for real. What we are having in that geographical space that is called Edo State is cohabiting. It does not mean that the people we are cohabiting together with, they are the one who gave birth to us. So the time is now. The reincarnate spirit of our ancestors, Esan, he is awoken within us. That is why we are speaking. We are not going to pay deaf ear any longer to the reincarnate spirit of our ancestors that is calling us. Let us all emerge to the occasion of doing justice to the Esan history. Keep on following Esan Focus Association, and to become member of this association, what you need to do, brothers and sisters, call this number and then we'll admit you into Esan Focus Association. Before we go tonight, I want to hand over to our brother, Mr. Vincent Obuite. I don't know if you're here to round up this program with whatever it is you have to say, or just round up the program. Thank you, Mr. Vincent Obuite. Over to you.
Wakara, Mesa, Ejama Ole Twiku, Owani Odio Alobolila Twiku.
My people,
Okay.
you see, my people, this is the beauty of Esan tradition. You understand what I mean? And this is what we love about it, you know. And you know, we are so delighted to be present in this platform this evening. And another thing I would want to say is, Vincent or Osa, if you guys have any sonotologist, any of the titles you guys have out there, because we have a lot of enlightened sonotologists out there. So any book written by these people, we want each and every one of you to put it out so that our people can be hacking into it. So that I mean, this is so interesting. I'm telling you. So
I will mention some of the authors before I run.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you have to mention them before we get out of this very place. As soon as so you can log us out. So that I just want to say, so that a lot of people we want, like our chief convener rightly said, that what made you a bona fide denizen of Esan land is just your ethnocentric caliber. So we implore everybody to join us wherever you are in the whole world or in any nook and crannies of the world. So that I will tell you, may God bless all of us here, people that are partaking in watching what we are doing today, and may God, gazilliously bless each and every one of you here that are present. Thank you all. Okay, go ahead and give us the sonotologist guy out there that you have with you or that you have in your hands.
Exactly. Yeah, I greet everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate everybody for giving us listening here.
Thank you.
History, of course. Today, of course, we are just starting today. We discussed the primary migration of Esan people. And of course, there are 3 waves of migration in Esan land. So maybe subsequently in our next program, we will start from the secondary migration, which is Ujisu period. Of course, the 3rd migration wave that happened, which is the Obaewari period, which the one people are mostly talking about. So, but for today, we have already laid the foundation, the people that are aborigines in Esan, and how the people, the Idu people, which is the indigenes in Benin, came out from Esan. We all migrated all together from Uhe in Niger Benue Conference environment, which is Kogi State of today, around 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. So we were all living in Esan land, of course, and people always, as human beings, we always look for a more good environment to live. People are always searching for greener pasture. So some of our people left Esan land and go and Godo. So in some of the Esan books that I will reference for you, for the listeners to go and acquire. Of course, the most celebrated Esan historian is Dr. Christopher Okoje. He's late now. He's the one that wrote the Esan native laws and custom, not the fake ones you are seeing on internet or the soft copies you are seeing on internet. Go and look for the hard copy. Of course, he's the person that founded the nursing school. There is Zuma Nursing School in Irua. Of course, you can, if you are living in Esan land or living in Nigeria, I believe they will still have. Of course, they will have a hard copy in their library. You can look for such copy in a particular book, Esan Native Laws and Custom, authored by Dr. Christopher Okoje. It was published in 1953 and later on in 1960. There is also one of the most historian, as in the most prominent historian that touched Esan history archaeologically from an archaeological lens. His name is Patrick Darling. So he wrote the Archaeology and History of Southern Nigeria, the ancient linear earthworks of Benin and Isan. His book was published in 1984. So he also wrote another book a few years later, Emerging Towns in Benin and Isan, Nigeria, 500 AD to 15th century. This same book was published in 1988.
Can you repeat the name again, sir?
Okay, yeah. The first one that I reference now is Esan Native Laws and Customs, by Dr. Christopher Okoje. Well, the book was first published in 1953 and 1960. Yeah. Of course, you have another historian. I love this guy because he wrote our history based on archaeological lens. Of course, that if you want to really know the foundation of the people, is through archaeology you'll be able to know that.
Yeah.
So he's the person that did all those earthwork, many kingdoms in Esan and Benin. So he was able to radiocarbon date it and see the actual date our people settled. So he wrote, his first book was Archaeology and History of Southern Nigeria, the ancient linear earthworks. Earthworks, our people call it Iyala. So, earthworks of Benin and Isan. It was written in 1984. His name is Patrick Darling. Darling is Darling. Yeah. He also published another book, Emerging Towns in Benin and Isan, Nigeria, from 500 AD. 500 AD is before 1st century. That is when our people settled in Esan land. So all those mini kingdoms, earthwork, he surveyed in Esan land. He radiocarbon dated in 500 AD. So the emerging towns in Benin and Isan, Nigeria, 500 AD to 15th century, by Patrick Darling. So
thank you so much. Without further ado, let me just say a little prayer so that we can close out.